think they're focused. They understand what's at stake, and they understand. We try to relay to them all week the environment, how well this team has played all year, even though the record isn't indicative of how good a team they are. And we'll get their best punch. We know that. So I think they're mentally prepared for that, and it's been good so far.
You've talked about this year how you haven't had a complete game from this team. Do you anticipate being able to find that complete game with the offense and the defense coming together for one game?
We need to. We're running out of games to do it. I felt like last week, for the most part, our special teams played really well, and that was a big step. And so now we got to put all three together.
Kliff, we talked a lot the last few weeks about the success teams have had dropping extra, 7, 8 guys in coverage. How have you tried to coach around that with the inside receivers specifically, guys like Jonathan and Cam, since several of those games, their numbers have not been what they were early in the year?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to understand what they're doing and play your role. And if we're asking you to block, 50 snaps, then you're going to block 50 snaps. It just is what it is. It's part of the game. They understand that. We try to get them the ball as much as we can, but when they're dropping 8, you got to take what's there.
As far as route running, have you had to say, hey, if they're doing this, you need to do?
Not really, because when they're dropping 8, there's not a lot of places to go. It's you try to find the best concepts to get them open and talk about finding space. But if they're dropping 8, it's consistently it's pretty tough sledding to throw it on a regular basis.
How do you feel like the weather might play into y'all's offensive game plan on Saturday?
I would think it wouldn't. I know it's supposed to be windy and a little chilly, but we see some of those things here in Lubbock, so I think we can handle those conditions, but I guess we'll see.
Usually in the cold, ground and pound, try to ground it out, but I guess you don't expect to run it any more than usual. Or I guess
Yeah, I mean, we ran it, I guess, 44 times last week, so whatever we have to do to try and win the game, and, Pat, he does a good job throwing in all types of weather, so whatever is working is what we'll do.
Speaking of the run game, how does DeLeon Ward look?
He's been better. He was kind of non-contact today, so he'll be a game-time decision, but he's definitely in better shape than he was last week to play.
How are the rest of the backs?
We'll see. All of them really are game-time decisions. Q White's up and ready to go, and then the other ones, we'll see if they can go on Saturday.
Since you have so many game-time decisions at running back, have you tested anybody else back there?
Yeah, we've used some receivers that we may have to plug back there and get them some touches if worse comes to worse.
What has DeMarcus done in the last yesterday and today?
Yeah, not too much, just some rehab stuff. He knows our system, once again, based on our numbers. If he can go, even if he's limited during practice this week, he'll go. So we just got to see if he can handle it.
I forgot to ask you yesterday, Colin Hill and Kiki QT, I think they both left the game Saturday.
Yeah, they should both be up. They should both be up.
Regarding Devontae Hinton, Gary Moore, and Devin Lauderdale, should we assume that none of those guys are going to play again this season?
I would say all I can go is this week, and I would say they're not going to play this week.
Are Gary and Devin still on the team? Or are all of those guys still on the team?
Yeah. It's still week to week as far as that goes. So it's a weekly decision, coach's decision.
Who are y'all expect to roll with the 5 O-line that y'all rolled up against Oklahoma State?
We'll see. We've moved some things around, trying to create competition there. I haven't been pleased with the run game or the pass protection really. So we're trying to find the right combination to be able to handle 3 down linemen. It's tough when you can't do that.
Bailey Smith seemed to play pretty admirably for a true freshman.
He played hard. I mean, when you break down the film, there was lots to clean up, but he got in there and played hard and hustled around and tried to be physical. And so for a young guy, you appreciate that.
I think he's going to be in the rotation.
We'll see. We're getting him rest with the 1s and 2s and kind of mixing guys around just to create that competition.
Kliff, what if anything have you or Coach Robinson said to Clayton Hatfield? One of the announcers mentioned Saturday night after he missed the kick that something like that can linger and stick in your head. What do you do to kind of get a guy?
Yeah, you just I mean, he's made game-winning kicks for us before, and just talk about that. And we pointed out that there were 50 other plays that could have won us that game. It didn't come down to that. And he'll have an opportunity these next 2 weeks to win a game for us, and he knows that. He's kicked the ball great all week, and he's a guy who has a short-term memory. He's stepped up in big situations for us, and so I don't have any concerns of that lingering.
After looking back at the film, how do you feel like Mahomes played, and then how has he looked going into obviously?
Much better, much better. He's healthy. He's throwing the ball finally full go in practice, and so that's key. That's how it was last week, pretty much. And had a full week of practice. Footwork was better. He was cleaner in the pocket, making quicker decisions, and that comes with the higher reps.
Does Bart, looked like Barton on Saturday and maybe in some other games past, looked like was wanting to hold the ball to give the guys the opportunity to get down there. Is he executing well?
Better. Obviously, we've had a rough year with that position. It's pretty obvious, but I was proud of that game that he played. I mean, he had 2 huge plays that we wouldn't have been in the game if he had not executed those. His kickoffs have been really good. Just the punting has been pretty inconsistent, but hopefully that's coming around.